Alright, boys and girls, ladies and gents, and those who identify as a refrigerator, a taxi cab. Just mess with you guys. Oh my god. I'm always doing this stuff, you know that. I'm always busy with stuff. And I was sitting here just looking at some things, and and I want to get into some things here. I think everybody pretty much has listened to me for a while, knows exactly where I stand, and knows how I feel about things. And let's take a peek at something real quick. I wonder how many subscribers I got right at the moment. I got 393, so I'm up one subscriber anyway. But so let's pull up some statistics and let's look at some things. Excuse me, my mouth's parched. So anyway, let me put it this way. You ever see the movie The Perfect Storm? And if I was the person in the early years. I was there making these videos when other people thought I was nuts, and they were mad at me because back when I started making the videos, Trump had took office the first time, and they said, "What you're talking about doing is going to kill his economy. He's not going to have a chance," and so on and so forth. Well, then on top of that, then you had COVID, which killed his economy anyway. And, you've had all these different things that killed his economy without me even attempt to. So, without anything I ever said attempted to. I mean, it just naturally happened on its own, just like I predicted it would. And I was trying to tell people back then, save your money, because the bottom line is, you're going to need to save your cash. And people didn't like that. People get mad at me about some of the things I say. Quite frankly, I don't give a damn whether they get mad at me about the things I gotta say. So let me get into some things here, and we'll talk about this perfect storm in a second. Okay. Let's get into U.S. debt first, and this is going to blow your mind. Right now we're at 38 trillion 323 billion and $91 million, and that thing's moving. And now the Doge clock is now at 214 trillion. The clock goal. The goal is 721 trillion. And how they're doing that is to get that done. Is they're basically what they're doing to get that done. They're screwing over a lot of people that's on Medicaid and a lot of people that's on Medicare. They're screwing them over, and they're doing a lot of things. That's cutting food stamps, and a lot of things. And now they're screwing people over with even their jobs. It's just ridiculous. But we're not getting into government screwing their jobs. It's a different kind of way they're getting screwed in their jobs. But let's talk with this real quick about this. U.S. trade deficit to China. This is an interesting one right here. The U.S. trade deficit to China is, this is the debt between the United States and China. Okay, so the U.S. deficit to China is 242 trillion 292 billion, and let's see, let me see here. No, the U.S. deficit to them is 242 billion, 292 trillion million dollars. 242 trillion. Excuse me, guys. All right. So it's 242 billion, and come on, click on that thing. 242 billion. Okay, 242 billion. $292 million. They're $242 billion in trade deficit to China right now. And I got a thing to go with China and this crazy ridiculousness right now. So the United States is like just going crazy with all this stuff. There's 7 federal suspended official. Let's see. Anything else that I need to take a peek at right quick? Let's see, $9 trillion held U.S. debt held by foreign countries is $9 trillion, and U.S. imported oil is 166 billion. Total U.S. debt $105 trillion. Total U.S. debt $105 trillion. Interest paid $5 trillion. Oh my God. This is ridiculous. U.S. Let's see here. Now this is in. Okay, so let's see here. This is Ferrari. Let's see. Federal Reserve. Let's see. Federal Reserve convenes emergency talks with Wall Street over liquidity facility usage concerns. So basically, the liquidity problem got so bad they had to hold an emergency meeting because people were pulling the money out so fast out of the market that it's not even funny, out of the banks. That's not even funny. So they had a liquidity crisis. So you remember me telling you that my bank had not approved my thing, and it wouldn't let me take money out. It did approve me down at Walmart one night. It's because of a liquidity problem. That's what it's called, a liquidity. All right. So what they did was they had a liquidity problem, and the banks have been having to have like trillions of dollars, billions of dollars stuffed into these accounts. It's just ridiculous, into their banks so they can keep their head afloat. Let's see. AI will replace most humans. And then what? This is Reuters. So it goes on to talk about let's see, artificial intelligence, robotic. Let's see, here we go. Artificial intelligence and robotics could rapidly accelerate this trend. This significant implications for inflation and the size of government and U.S.-China relations. So they got all kinds of stuff right now where they're just basically the jobs are being just, most people will lose their job because of AI technology. And the reason why they lose their job because of AI technology is because of automation. They're building machines, we'll be building machines, and then the machines will be doing the work. AI technology will be doing the work. Seems like I've seen a movie about this kind of stuff. Yeah, I've seen 2 movies actually, if I remember straight. One was called The Matrix, and the other one was called The Terminator. Go figure that one. And both these movies were made prior to 2000, like long time ago. So think about that. All right. Tariffs. Average U.S. tariffs on Chinese exports now stand at 47.5% and cover 100% of all goods. China's average tariffs on U.S. exports are 31.9% and cover 100% of all goods. U.S. tariffs have risen by 46.8 percentage 46.8 percentage points since the second Trump administration began on January 20th, 2025. Chinese tariffs have risen by 10.7 percentage points over the same period. So in other words, let's see. Let's see. Average. Here we go. Right here. Average U.S. tariffs on imports from China had increased to 127.2% in early May 2025. You wonder why everything's costing so much money and how you can't afford to buy anything anymore? Well, I got news for you. And it's just about to get worse because it's going to raise up to 147% next month. So yeah, it's getting ready to be through the roof. All right, Americans. Oh goodness, hold on. Let me go ahead and do it this way. All right, how much credit card debt do Americans have? Americans' total credit card debt is 1.2 trillion as of the third quarter of 2025, according to the latest consumer debt data from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. That's up from 1.209. So in other words, it went up a lot. It's gone up like 24 billion in the second quarter. So it's gone up $24 billion in just a short period of time. Now they're actually slashing credit card rates. I could actually show you something here. Card limits are getting slashed right now. Okay, so my credit card issue reducing my credit limits. Alright, so and let's see here. Let's see, this is all stuff for people that had their credit card lowered. You know, this is, let's see, we got one right here that's August 8th, 2025. I had another one right here that's May the 30th, 2025. November 7th, 2025. So apparently this stuff must be coming up a lot. And let's see when this thing was here done. This is CNBC. So this tells you that there's like a crisis going on. And I've been seeing a lot of things. This is April the 24th, 2025. This is updated. So let's see. It's going down. But yeah, so basically it's a lot of stuff's been going on. Consumerfinance.gov. Let's see. This is July. Oh, that's July. That's last reviewed at that point. But it says, I don't know. Let's see here. NerdWallet. Okay. So this is NerdWallet. So apparently they must be getting a lot of influx from something. And this was put out November 7th, 2025. So there you go. What to do if a credit card issuer lowers your credit limit. And the reason why they're doing this is to protect the bank. Basically, the banks are being in big trouble right now. So they're doing that to protect the banks. And I'm just showing you evidence, actual evidence of stuff happening. And the reason why I'm showing you this stuff is it's really important. Is because the bottom line is you can expect a huge perfect storm of stuff. And the perfect storm that's falling apart, the perfect storm that's actually, you know, hitting everybody, is it's a big huge perfect storm. And well, basically how it works is you've got a different major contributing factors, and I think one of the biggest contributing factor. Boy, trying to find a way to hold this laptop pretty comfortable here. So I think, all right. So let's go by the three. Let's go by the main contributing factors. The four. I'm gonna call it five contributing factors to how it makes the perfect storm. The Category 5 hurricane, the perfect storm. So the main contributing factor is the cost of goods. Well, one of the main contributing factors is the cost of goods. Your well, I think the main contributing factor is just the cost of rent, let's say. And rent is probably at the top of the list. Okay, so rent. Okay, rent's $1,000 to $1,200, $1,600 in some places, and in other places it's like really high. There was one lady, I think she was somewhere in like Los Angeles, who was talking about getting a one-bedroom apartment, and it was $4,500 dollars or something like that to get a one-bedroom apartment in Los Angeles. It was ridiculous. And so we're talking about big money in this stuff. Okay, so and every part of the country is different. You could go down to Alabama, let's say, and you might be able to get a 3-bedroom apartment down there. $700 a month maybe, but around my area right now, most all of them are going for $900 or way and above for a 1-bedroom apartment. But it just all depends on where you go. I mean, right now I just seen a little single wide trailer, for God's sakes, on Marketplace. Of all things, a single wide trailer, 2-bedroom single wide trailer, was going for $1,000 a month rent. $1,000 a month. And people are doing this shit because they know they can. Pardon French. Nobody's honest or decent to anybody anymore. And they're doing this because they know they can. I don't care if that trailer was remodeled or whatever else. $1,000 a month for a 2-bedroom trailer. I would quite frankly rather rent, instead of paying them $1,000 for that trailer, I'd quite frankly rather rent a high quality 1-bedroom apartment, because that trailer is going to be just totally energy inefficient. Some trailers can be some trailers can be very energy efficient. It just depends on how well it's built, or if you remodeled it, you updated it. But if it's an old trailer with roll-out windows and you don't have no insulation in that thing, and you got, just mere walls between the outside and trailer and the inside the trailer is that thick, where you got real thick, thin paneling, you got the trailer out here and you got the thing inside, and you got the old roll-out windows and stuff in them little mobile homes, that trailer is going to cost you a lot in heating and cooling costs and stuff like that. It's going to be ridiculous on what it is. But this trailer here was a little more modern, a little more up to date, but it wasn't nothing fancy, and it still had the trailer windows in it. It wasn't new. It wasn't no kind of remodel job. It was the original trailer windows, and it looked like it was the kind. It's like, I don't know if you know how houses used to be, but it used to be a storm window. Had a wood window, and then the houses had a storm window. Well, trailers sort of just had basically a storm window at one point, and this was a trailer that was in the 80s models around there. It just had basically just a 2 little prong storm window thing, and the little click in, pull, and lift up thing. And that was the trailers from those years, and that's what this trailer was. It had those windows. It didn't have new updated windows. It looked like it hadn't been fully remodeled on the inside. No external heat pump, nothing like that. I guess heating and cooling. It looked like maybe it had electric heating. Yeah, on a trailer like that, it's going to cost the hell out of you. You'd be better off just renting a 1-bedroom apartment because of the energy cost. And $1,000 a month for a trailer. Think about that. So, okay, so let's get on past the trailer part, but it just blows my mind, man. I I cannot process this junk going on. Okay, it messes me up. I'm like, I mean, it blows my mind. It's like, it's like, I don't know what to really say about it. It's like, wow. Anyway, so moving on past that. So let's get past the rent part. So let's talk about the cost of gasoline. Gasoline is being gasoline, but still, and people really don't have the money to buy gasoline at $2.50 a gallon now. $2.50, $2.60 a gallon right now in my area. That's not in California. We're on YouTube here, man, and we got people out in California that do watch my videos. I know that for a fact. So we're talking 250. We're talking $2.50 here, $4 or $5 in gas over there. So we're talking huge amounts of money in fuel each month. For my little car, my little Honda, you've seen my little Honda, it costs me about $20 a week to go to work and go back home. And I really don't go other places too much anymore. And then I go to church down there, and that's about 20 minutes drive from me. Well, 15, 20-minute drive from me. So... And then I go see my mom. But on average, let's say, I spend about $80 a month. But, there's people that drive bigger cars, bigger trucks. If you got a Buick LeSabre right now, oh, man, you're getting hit hard. Those things are not easy on gas. That was a good engine. That was a good car. That 3.8 liter was tough, man. That 3800 series Buick was a tough motor. But you are getting killed right now in fuel costs and something like that. Not including your insurance. So automobiles, cars, insurance, and everything. That's killing you. So we got two factors here already. Third factor, food. Food. Look at food. How much is food costing? Through the roof. Food is through the roof. I'll repeat it again. Through the roof. It is so expensive to buy food right now. It's ridiculous. And now they're going to try to cut people's food stamps out. And people can barely afford to eat now. So think about that. That's through the roof high. Food is... There's a lot of people even reporting going vegetarian, having to eat a lot of vegetarian or going vegetarian because they cannot afford to eat. They cannot afford to eat meat, and I can believe that. I can say I honestly believe that there probably is people going vegetarian because of that. I've said in the past I thought vegetarianism would be on the rise. Noodles, beans, and rice and stuff like that, and back to the good old home garden. It's probably going to make a comeback. So now the other factor is buying anything. Now that's already three we got out of the way. All right, housing, gas and car expenses, and now even if it's public transportation, you're still paying $3 to go here, $3 to go there, $3 to go here. That's cheaper than that. That's more expensive than it would be if I cranked my car up and drove over there. But at the same time, you got to take into consideration I pay big money just for my insurance because my car has full coverage. All right, so then we got the other factor is food. So now buying anything. All right, then I'm gonna talk about the utility bills here in a minute. But oh man, let's not get into utilities. Utilities and credit card debt that goes part of your household expenses. So all right, so let's talk about so let's just talk about buying anything at all, just buying anything. So if you're going to buy just anything you want to buy, it's going to cost you so much money. It's not ridiculous. I mean, everything that used to be $10, $12, something like that, you can't afford to buy anything anymore. It's all through the roof high. Everything is high. Now, Windows, and as you can see, I'm using Ubuntu right here. I got to upgrade this Ubuntu version because this is the 2020 version. So I need to update to a new version because this one ends life support, and this one ends life support in 2000. No, I think this might be the 22. This might be 22. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and update it to the 24 soon. You'll be seeing a whole different it'll be the same operating system, but it'll be just different because I'll program it different so it looks different. But anyway, so I just think about buying anything. And the reason why I was talking about this is Microsoft just made it so people have to go out and buy new computers right now. And people are hurting anyway. Or they shipped Windows 11 with a free update for some people. They could update their computers to that, which meant basically there's a whole lot of people that couldn't do that. So a whole lot of people are going to have to switch to Linux, and a lot of people are switching to Linux, and a whole lot of other people are just having to buy a whole new computer, and a lot of people don't have the money to buy a new computer. Big portion of people don't have the money to buy a new computer. So when we look at everything and buying anything at all, tell me everything is expensive. Even buying a cheap hoodie at Walmart is $15. There was even a guy who was just talking about this, who said he went to look at a hoodie in the mall, and he said it was $60 to buy a hoodie. And I know that some of the cheapest hoodies that I've looked at are $30, $40, and then I've looked at actual coats, real nice coats, and those are costing $40 and $50 for coats, and jeans and pants. They're getting ridiculous high, man. Everything's getting expensive. You can't afford to buy anything anymore. And what is all this going to be? Well, there you go. Alright, so now let's get into the last thing so I don't make this video too long. I don't want to make it too long. I don't know if I got my timer. But I don't want to make my video too long. And at the time of this recording, I don't have a counter on this one. I do. Anyway, that's just something I use to record the desktop. But anyway, so the final step, the final equation to this whole deal, and the final destroyer of the deal is going to be the fact that we are just flat out paying too much money on credit card debts, other kind of bills, buy now, pay later plans, just everything you can think of. We're paying too much money on too much on utility bills, too much on any kind of thing we got financed. Play toys. He's going to get hit the hardest when all this finance stuff starts to happen. He's going to get it worse, don't you? And you're going to start seeing a bunch of camper places and stuff like that start disappearing. You're going to start seeing motorcycle places and stuff like that because those are considered play toys. Those are going to get hit the very hardest of them all. Now, some of the people will survive, but, you've got to take into consideration there's not going to be many that will survive that when that happens. There's going to be some big things happen from that, and there's not going to be many survivors out of it. Motorcycle places and stuff like that. Of course, I've actually heard that motorcycle sales on like the Navis and stuff like that, like the Honda's Navis and some of the other things, because people are looking for cheap transportation back and forth to work. So I've heard that those little 250s and stuff like that, they're actually doing really good, like the Rebels and stuff like that. I heard their sales are really good. I mean, I can get on there right now. It's on Marketplace, and I was looking at there was a nice Yamaha on there, and it was $600. So, that the stuff like that, pretty much people are looking for motorcycles and bikes right now, and it makes sense. Why are you, the price of gas, the price of insurance and everything, motorcycles and stuff like that is going to be the cheapest way to go. So, and I've been actually looking at buying an X-Max, but it's kind of hard to find a good X-Max. That's a lower price anyway. I've been looking at buying a Yamaha X-Max scooter, but I don't know if I ever get one. I'd like to. But anyway, just think about it. We got a perfect storm going on. That's what I mean. The perfect storm. Because then on top of that, AI job losses. So let's call it 6. Let's call it 6. AI job losses and all this. Malls shutting down. Retail stores shutting down. I mean, everybody's like, oh, get a side hustle, get a side hustle. You're side hustling yourself to death already, people. You still can't afford nothing. So think about that. So we got the perfect storm. What is the perfect storm? The perfect storm is, you've got job losses, you got increases in car insurance, increases in homeowners insurance. You've got increases in homeowners insurance. You've got increases in every single aspect of every single thing you do. Your dollar is this. Your dollar's doing this in the banks. Your money comes in, it goes straight back out. Straight in, straight back out. That's your money. They don't have no money anymore. Liquidity is already getting to be a problem for the banks. I proved that already. Right here, in this one right here. Federal Reserve, let's see, liquidity. Let's see. Federal Reserve convenes emergency talks with Wall Street over liquidity facility usage concerns. They're already having a liquidity problem. So that means there's so much money coming out of the bank, not going into the bank, coming out of the bank, that is screwing over this country. Okay? We have no money going in the bank. We have no money coming out of the bank. We're totally done, man. We're cooked. We're cooked. Think about it. So it's time to get off here, but when it comes down to it, think about it. It's not going to last much longer. And all that stuff you did, and all this time I've been telling you to prep, buy guns, buy bullets, buy food, buy all this and that stuff. Even today, I was actually looking at buying a camper. And the reason why I was thinking about buying a camper, I have a bug out spot, right? But, there's sort of somebody there in that household, in that house, in that living quarter. So, I could put a camper out there by that instead of having to actually live in the house with them. I could actually live out someplace else because, basically, so I wouldn't be directly living in the house with them. But I have, a bunch of stuff there. I've got all my stuff and everything else here. I've got all kinds of stuff. So basically it kind of falls in between. I know both places are in good shape. And so, the bottom line is you have to pull those two together. I mean, so basically I'm wanting to kind of maybe get a camper. Okay? And I'm wanting to try to maybe get a prepping community up. It's just I don't know how it's done, how to do it. I've thought about maybe giving my email address and let people, or set up some kind of other email address and let people email me just for that cause, that they can become a part of our small prepping community. I don't know, but I'd like to do something like that. Anyway, be good at it. Take it easy. I don't want to make the video too long. It's going to be long enough as it is. I've run my mouth too long. And I hope you the best. I hope you have a good week. And, I can make a doom and gloom video now, but I can't at Thanksgiving. So, I even got burned one time. Somebody's eating me alive one time for making a video based on that stuff. Anyway, I think it was Christmas. I was telling everybody to get a gun. I think it was Christmas or 4th of July or something like that. I was telling everybody to get a gun. And somebody said, "Man, can't you get off that for one day?" It was lighting me up. But I said, "Yeah, I guess it is wrong time of year." I try not to make bad videos then. So we're gonna have a happy Thanksgiving. Anyway, be good at it. Take it easy, and I hope you have a good one.